Raichu, one of the most fan-favorite Pokemon out there. It's a cute Pokemon, and I personally love it. It's had some good backgrounds, and is one of the most notable Pokemon because it's Raichu. Who doesn't love Raichu? It's the evolution of the Pokemon series mascot, Pikachu himself, but it's left on the downside, which is a little sad. Has gotten different variant forms with Alolan Raichu, which is a fan-favorite Pokemon and all, and has its own competitive background series, winning the 2016 World Championship on Wolfglick's team. This Pokemon definitely has capabilities, and its main reasoning for doing this is its supreme support usage with one singular move. Fake Out. Fake Out has some of the best utility in the game. How Fake Out works is basically, if you're hit, this move is hits first, but it only works on the first turn. There's always a flinch chance. Flinching is one of the best things you can get in competitive Pokemon. Being able to stall out one of your opponents by either stopping them for the first turn on the first turn you hit the field is always something that you have to take into consideration because it's so good. It allows the other Pokemon that can be used for sweeping to have better chances of being able to start killing or being able to make yourself last longer or be good for stalling. Fake Out has so much good potential. However, recently it has been slightly nerfed, but it doesn't stop it. The new Covert Cloak item really does put a dent in Fake Out, but it doesn't stop it. The reason, however, not too many Pokemon are running Fake Out. The issue with it is the Covert Cloak item, and other Pokemon that use it aren't as good. The best one is Grimmsnarl, who we all know what it does. It's a prankster Pokemon, and Fake Out doesn't get helped by it, but it's still good on it. Other Fake Out Pokemon include Hariyama. There's some other good ones like Raichu here too, which I think Raichu is probably the second place best one because it's so versatile with other Pokemon. Now, as you see here, we have other moves that go with this as well. And I actually have two different sets here as well. Of course, we have Nuzzle, which Nuzzle is one of the best things you could ask for. Thunder Wave has a chance to miss, and Static, its other ability, is not reliable. But Nuzzle is is probably the best para option. Just like Fake Out, it can break other sashes, which is something you cannot go without. And since Raichu is very, very naturally fast, this thing can outspeed most anything, a lot of different Pokemon, and be able to get off stab Nuzzles, which also have a 100% chance to paralyze, which is really good. Then, of course, Volt Switch just to get it out of battle and give it another good way to deal damage. And there's two different things you can do with this for the final move. You could do Protect, but run Focus Sash, or you could run Assault Vest and do Terra Blast, or a different move like Quick Attack. A different move like Quick Attack, which always works as well. What the Focus Sash allows you to do, it allows you to survive any boosted or ground type move, basically. You'll be able to live those moves much, much better to be able to guarantee you get Fake Out and Nuzzle support. However, other Pokemon that need the Focus Sash, like Meowscarada, probably won't be able to hold it, and therefore not be able to do as well. Well, taking the Assault Vest item will allow Pokemon like Meowscarada or other Sash users to be able to use their Focus Sash. Well, Raichu gets more special defense, more investment with that, and be able to run a more offensive set with Terra Blast, which is always good. That needs to be Terra Flying. And one of the better things with this is that having these type of Terra things is always really good. Terastallizing is one of the best things, and Raichu's only weakness is ground, and removing that with the flying Terra type is so good. It can't go unprecedented. Also, with the Terra Blast on this, you now have stab flying moves to hit possible grass types, which can be annoying as well. And plus, its Lightning Rod ability gets rid of its electric type weakness when it goes Terra Flying, so you'll only be weak to rock and ice types, which, in my opinion, is really good and something that cannot be ignored. EVs and stuff, if you're doing this, I would probably do a max special attack. However, if you want to get as much damage off with Nuzzle and Fake Out, then definitely do a max attack and probably plus speed. You always want to do plus speed with Raichu because being able to outspeed your opponents is something you need to do with this Pokemon. And if it doesn't outspeed it, then you're not in a good position. So always goes max speed with Raichu. That's something that you should always be doing every time, but it's your choice if you want to go max physical attack or max special attack. So let's talk about this Pokemon's partner in crime, and we all know one of the most common Pokemon that's weak to electric types is Gyarados. Gyarados has been there ever since Generation 1, and he's always been the Nuzlocke King. He's been in a lot, and I mean a lot, of competitive Pokemon battles. I'm pretty sure that... No, it didn't win 2014. Did it? I don't know. Anyway, this thing's had a lot of competitive successes, especially in Gen 6 with its Mega form. This Pokemon can succeed, but there's too many things that cause it to not do as good. First of all, let's talk about Gyarados' moveset here. Of course, we're going to be running its best water-type move, Waterfall, which is really good. Then Protect, because it's Protect, you always run that. And one of the best boosting moves in the game, Dragon Dance, which raises your physical attack and speed by 1 stage. It's so good. Getting a speed boost and an attack boost is one of the best things you can get. But people have also been running Terra Blast to go with Terra Flying. This finally gives Gyarados a good flying stab move, which it didn't really get. It got it a little bit in Generation 8 Dynamax, but it had to run the useless move Bounce in order to get it, which wasn't always good. But now Gyarados can finally do this and have a good stab move. Plus, not to mention, Raichu's Lightning Rod makes it immune to Electric, and its Water-type moves are already hitting Rock types for super effective damage. And Waterfall hits Ice for neutral, so it's a pretty good combo. Of course, the EV spread is pretty obvious. You need it to be a fast physical sweeper. This Pokemon doesn't have the best speed stat, but it still has enough speed to outspeed some typical things, and it has enough speed to outspeed Armarouge, one of the bigger threats in the meta. So it's really good to have that investment as well. You could probably do max attack to output more damage, or max speed to be able to outspeed more opponents. Your items are a little bit more usable here. You could do Clear Amulet to make sure that this Pokemon doesn't get intimidated or dropped by anything else. Or you could do some other things, like you could do a Life Orb is always a good option if you need to. Or a Choice Scarf is decent if you run a full attacking set. Gyarados just works everywhere, but I think one of its big points are its 2 abilities, Intimidate and Moxie. Intimidate is practically the poster child of competitive Pokemon. When this Pokemon switches in, it lowers the attack of the opponents by 1 stage. This is something that you cannot ignore, and it's always useful. Being able to switch in, drop the opponent's attack, is just something that Gyarados can do really well, because Water Flying is a nichely hard type to hit, but Moxie is where this thing really gets off. If this thing can get a Dragon Dance, this thing can practically almost one-shot possibly anything with Waterfall or Terra Blast. And it just gets stronger with Moxie. Literally, it's so good. It's, like, good. However, it's kind of obvious because if you don't have Intimidate, then your opponent knows, oh crap, this is a Moxie Gyarados, get rid of this quickly. Where they know it's Intimidate, they know, okay, it's not Moxie pressuring, so we're good. It's a little bit obvious when it does, but if you can start Moxieing, this thing just goes ballistic nuts, which is also why Quaquaval is doing so well as well. I originally thought Quaquaval would be good on this team, but it wasn't doing too well. I think Gyarados would be a much better counter, but Quaquaval's still a good option. And we've already mentioned Meowscarada. This thing, obviously is another Sash user because of its poor defenses. But it is a good choice band user as well if you decide to run Sash Raichu. However, and of course we all know what it does. Flower Trick, Flower Trick, Flower Trick, Flower Trick. It can't miss, always crits, busted move, bonkers if you say that to me. U-turn to get choice banded U-turns off, which is just phenomenal. And if you need to run Sash, Knockoff can be there to be annoying and kick off items. And then it has two other good moves. I like to use Low Kick and then Play Rough, which is another good move, it's just nice to use and stuff. And of course, Protean, I don't like Protean as much. Overgrow is much better, especially if you're running Sash, especially if you're running this cat with the Sash. That way you can get into Overgrow range, and Flower Trick will be the most powerful move you have, which is really good. Plus, if your opponent is trying to, I don't know, boost their offenses, Flower Trick crits ignore that. So, obviously, Meowscarada just does its job really, really well. Now, filling out the rest of the team, I'm going to leave up to you. I would definitely recommend using a Pokemon that can benefit off Raichu's Lightning Rod ability. So, other water or flying types, that could be really good. Definitely Iron Bundle could be on that list. When it becomes legal, Greninja, Hisuian Samurott, which we know will be pretty good. So yeah, this thing is really good. Lightning Rod, by the way, is a electric type version of Storm Drain, and in the last video we talked about how good Gastrodon was and how good Gastrodon could be, so yeah. There's a lot of versatility with this team. One of my teams, this team right here, I tried to do. This one has Quaquaval on it. I also gave it Garchomp and Mosshold. It's not the best team, but it does good, I would say. It definitely has stuff that it could do better, but I ultimately really do think that these teams could be really good if set up successfully. A team that I have on my phone is actually using those two Pokemon, Raichu, Furry, and Gyarados, and pairing them with Hydreigon, who is just a good Pokemon in general, and then having a Trick Room part to it with Indeedee and Armarouge, which is phenomenal, useful, always good. So, yeah, but I'll leave it to you. Because there's so much versatility with what you can do with just these three Pokemon alone, you have a lot more room to do with other Pokemon, which I just think is really good. So take it to your own hands, take it how you want to do it. But thanks for watching. I just wanted to get out there that Raichu is a pretty good Pokemon this game. It can counter some of the more potent water types and flying types, especially Murkrow. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye.